What's going on, everybody? Gamer Arrow here, and this is my Season 5 Boulder Druid build. I like to call this the Vroom Vroom because you're moving fast, you're not really doing much, you're just kind of cruising through pits, cruising through dungeons, cruising through bosses, and everything is dying around you. Um, Really, the only thing you're spamming constantly is just Boulder. And everything else, you're just watching your cooldowns. So, you're going to be using the Shaco mainly for the cooldown reduction. Everything else is nice to have, but it's mainly for the cooldown reduction. There's not really anything in the game other than the Dolmen Stone that I've seen that is giving you huge abundance of cooldown reduction. Um, Also, to meet your armor cap, so you can mess around with the pants. I'm running to Walt's Will, so you mess around with things like that to get more damage. Um, the life is very nice too. You are going to need a lot of life, but even without that, it's going to be it. Still over 40k. So it's mainly for the cooldown reduction and the armor. Sageable Fury, uh, mainly for the Ursine Strength. The plus 4 to Iron Fur is nice. It's nice too, but mainly for the Ursine Strength. The only bear skill you're using is Debilitating Roar, and that's for damage reduction. You're not going into Werebear to cast skills. You're not getting damage buffs from being in Werebear form. None of that. It is solely just to rock you shapeshifting, and then you're going straight back to human because Iron Fur you get it for 3 seconds after. So for 3 seconds you're getting that damage reduction. Or Sign Strength for the um, damage buff to the key passive Ursine Strength. So you're at 30% multiplicative damage and 30% multiplicative overpower damage just for being healthy. You don't need to be in a werebear form or anything like that. That bonus makes it to 35.4 for both of them. It's just more damage. Um, since you are using Debilitating Roar every 9 seconds, you can run Bestial Rampage, or you can just use Nature's Fury. But I'm using Satiable Fury for those two things. The gloves, I have willpower, but honestly, the perfect gloves would be ranks to core skills for strike chance and attack speed or regular crit damage. Up to you. Uh, I did brick these. It was supposed to be hurricane size, not petrified damage. In the written guide, which there will be a link for it in the description, it'll have anything that I bricked, which is just the gloves, um, is fixed um, later on. Is fixed in that guide. Is in the written guide. But you'll be getting temper for crit strike damage. You will be using natural balance because the crit multiplier you're getting helps you also with your overpower crits that you will be casting, and it is a chunk of damage. It when I was using retributions that are natural balance, the overpower crits were like 30 to 40 to 50 million. When this is active, I've seen up to 100 million, like 60 to 100 million around there. So it is absolutely insane. Tibalt's Will, kind of a given for the free damage. Um, when you don't have your cooldown as high as you need it to be to always have Cataclysm running, um, the replenish of 50 resources is very nice too. Boots, max life, movement speed, and rank to Boulder are all crucial for it. You can mess around with the movement speed if you want, but you are going to need as much life as possible and as many ranks to Boulder as possible. Movement speed for the temper, hurricane size on your boots, and then um, I'm using concussive strikes. Um, for the aspect for more damage. You can really put whatever you want here, but it helps with the boss damage too when you have them staggered. It's a nice extra 20%. Mace, I would have you run a staff, but staff is damage over time now, which is stupid. Blizzard! Anyway. Um, Willpower, max life, and crit damage are tempering damage to crowd control because you can't use staff. Blizzard. Um, it is to meet the 60% multiplicative damage output for Earthen devastation. Um, I didn't originally have damage to crowd control. I just had crit damage tempered, and I was at 20%. It was still doing a good chunk of damage. I was still able to do a 3-stack tormented boss by myself just fine. Um, Still high tier pits, high tier boards. But this gives gives you that just that extra 32% that you really do need. You don't notice it until you actually have it. Hurricane duration, without a doubt. The longer you have the hurricane, the longer you can have your boulders out, and also the more time it gives you to be able to cast it again while it's out. It's not like how Boulder was in the past seasons where Hurricane goes out, boulders, they keep gravitating around you and then they just kind of break. Now, once Hurricane goes out, your boulders just go flying in any direction. So you are always going to have to keep Hurricane up. You will have to watch that, but it's, well, once you at least have the duration uh, tempered, it's kind of, it's very easy to manage. Aspect of Metamorphic Stone. That's just a given extra damage, and you got to make it a core skill, so it costs Spirit. Dolmen Stone. Also, it's a given. It's a necessity. It's how the boulders gravitate around you. It did get buffed, so now you get a multiplicative damage output for each boulder that is out there. Mine is still short. Um, Mine is short by 8%, which once I have max boulders, that is 80% multiplicative damage I am missing. You can have up to 300% multiplicative damage output. I'm still missing a lot of damage. You want to at least double tap on cooldown on the nature magic cooldown reduction. So you want to have at least 33%. I didn't want it to hit the movement speed while Hurricane is active. If anything, I would have preferred it hit Crushing Earth, but I kept it there because I didn't want to have to sit there and go through it all again. Mjolnir Ring, absolutely insane. In the PTR for this season, it was originally gloves. I am glad they made it a ring, or else you wouldn't be able to get the petrified the hurricane size, which is what you can actually have, and the ranks and core skills. So I am glad that they changed that. On my first try, I did get the triple crit on the Endless Tempest, which is what it should be. But it did take me a long time to get a max roll aspect for it, because as you can see, it is a 60%, like, from minimum to maximum, it is 60%. So there's 60 different variations of the aspect that you can get. It's not like it's Insatiable Fury where it's just 4 different variations. You get the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5. When it comes to the aspect, there's 60 different versions of this fucking ring. Blizzard foot. Anyway, so it took a while for me to get that, and then I guess the game apologized to me by allowing me to get the triple crit on Endless Tempest first try. But yeah, so don't sweat it when you can't get a max roll. The different rings. Blizzard! Ring of Starless Skies is a given. Free damage. Even so, this is where it gets a little weird. So anything that says consuming spirit or consuming resource, it doesn't work. You can't proc it when you have Cataclysm active. But here it says spending your primary resource, but we're not spending it, but it still works. I don't know why. It's a free 50% output. I'm just gonna take it. If you don't have the Ring of Starless Skies, then you can always just use a regular ring with attack speed, crit chance, and then crit chance and crit damage, and then either max life or attack speed. whatever you want to do, or willpower. It's up to you. Um, and then you would do aspect of retribution on the ring for the free 40% damage output, depending on how much fortify you have. And then you would do. I think you can't temper hurricane size, so you would probably do. I gotta see the tempers for a ring, but honestly, for the first one, first temper, you would kind of just do whatever you want. But make sure one of your tempers is crit damage. Has to be crit damage. And then just do with whatever you want with the other one. Boons. Wariness for the damage reduction. If you are having issues with keeping your Cataclysm up at all times, you can use Gift of the Stag up until you get that fixed. Because you are going to need this damage reduction later on for any high tier pushing anything of any kind. Max life, you need as much life as possible. You could do attack speed, up to you. You're gonna have a buttload of crit chance anyway. Like I have 50%, 55%, and then you're gonna have the free crit chance from Boulder's upgrades itself. So honestly, you're better off either doing Iron Feather or sweeping attacks. Avian Wrath for the free 30% multiplier to crit damage. Duration, ultimate skills a must. Any duration or cooldown of your ultimate skill a must. I'm going with Obsidian Slam. If you are having cooldown issues with your ultimate, with Cataclysm, you can use Calm Before the Storm. I'm using Obsidian Slam to help kind of mow through the mobs a little bit faster. Because I have the 39% here and the 33.2 here, I am able to barely, you will see it in the gameplay, in the Pit 100 gameplay. There are times where I have it up, like completely, and I can cast it again before the duration is over, like right before it's over, or it ends and I still have to wait 2 to 1 seconds. So it kind of depends on how, how my druid's feeling at that moment. But yeah, so but if your cooldown time is between 5 to 10 seconds, go with Calm Before the Storm until you get that to at least 2 seconds between casts. Then you can run Obsidian. For your skill tree, you're gonna go with Claw for the basic skill. I will explain. You're gonna go with Fierce Claw for the poisoning damage because you are gonna be running Envenom for an extra 30% damage multiplier, or crit damage multiplier. It is only for the bosses. It is only for bosses, so have it for 6 seconds. But I think it's more like 8. I think it's either 8 or 9 seconds in reality because we are running Paragon. Using, oh, wait. Oh. Hang on, I fixed it in the written guide. I didn't fix it here. I didn't even touch it yet, but you will be using Tracker. You will be using Tracker for the poisoning effect to last longer, and also it's extra damage too. It's just a little bit of extra damage. It's not much. Not much. It'll be like when the glyph is fully leveled, it'll be like 57% or that. It's just a little extra oomph. You're mainly doing it just for the poisoning effect to last longer. I couldn't really think of anything else. You could use Territorial if you want, if you have a damage reduction issue. It's really up to you, but I put Tracker there so that poisoning effect lasts longer, and I have Envenom for longer before I have to reapply it with Claw. Now, core skills, Heart of the Wild, put 1 point here. You can put 2 points here. It's only 6. It doesn't really matter. You're not spending it anyway once you get this thing up and running. Wild Impulses for damage. Or then Bulwark, then you're going with Enhanced Unstoppable to Will. I put 2 here, really as much, only put as many points here as you need when it comes to your resistances. I think I take 1 point out. I don't think I need it. I can take that 1 point out. I can put it here, the extra damage reduction. Debilitating Roar. Oh, I didn't even. Sorry, my bad. I didn't even. This Predatory Instinct, and then 3 points in Iron Fur. Now, this is what I was talking about. The bonus persists for 3 seconds after leaving Werebear. So once you switch back to human form, you have that damage reduction for 3 seconds, on top of the damage reduction from Debilitating Roar. You can use Trample if you're not going with um, if you're not going with the Insatiable Fury version and you're just going with Materials Might, 100% that too, and you won't use Debilitating Roar, Trample for movement. But I'm using Debilitating Roar. I like the defense. I like to play it safe, and my movement speed is max when Hurricane's active, so I don't really need the mobility skill. And then I have Earth and Bulwark to save my butt when I'm crowd control. But you're going up to Preserving Debilitating Roar to keep up your Fortify, because then you'll keep Stone Guard procced at all times, and if you are running Retribution, that procced at all times. Max. At max, by the way. Now down here, you're going to put 1 point in Elemental Exposure, and you're going to put 3 points in Endless Tempest. If you do get the lucky 3-tap, like I did, you have 9, which is absolutely amazing. Then you're going to put 1 point in Hurricane. You're going to go up to Natural Hurricane to keep Vulnerable active for Natural Disaster and for the Earth and Sky Glyph, so that you always have that damage bonus. And I think I don't think they're separate, because it gives you the damage bonus to crowd control and vulnerable. I don't know if they stack or what, but it allows you to have that extra damage output no matter what when they're vulnerable. 5 points in Boulder. You're gonna go up to Natural Boulder. If this is better than Natural Boulder, because I personally have no idea, go with Savage. I'm going with Natural just in case, because I don't know if this is, you get 3% for overall for Boulder every time it hits, so it goes 6, 9, 12, 15. Or if it's actually just when that one boulder hits, you're getting 3% extra crit chance just for that bolt. So you're only getting 3%. You're only getting a flat 3%. I got no idea. So if you know that this is better, go with it. Not go with Natural Boulder for the safe 20%. And besides, I'm at 55, and then when that's active, it's 75. I'm pretty sure the max is 70 anyway. I think. So, unless they uncapped it, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, no, you're critting all the time. I don't see any white damage at all. 3 points in Crushing Earth. You're gonna go with 1 point Safeguard. That's really all you get for Fortify from Boulder and everything else. 3 points in Stone Guard for the extra damage fortified, or 1 point in Neurotoxin to put the Venom. I've already explained that, but for the extra crit damage. 3 points in Defiance, 3 points in Disaster, and 3 points in Resonance. I would have you put 1 point in Circle of Life, so you would take, say you don't use these, you just take these points, put 3 in here. But it's when you consume Spirit, you're not consuming Spirit. You have Infinite, so you're not gonna need this. Well, you're not gonna. I'm not saying you won't need it, but you can't use it. You're gonna go with Cataclysm all the way through. Now this is where you can kind of mess around. If you don't want to go with Insatiable Fury and you go with Materials Might, and even if you're not using Debilitating Roar and you use Trample, you could go with Bestial Rampage, get just an overall free 50% multiplicative. Go with Nature's Fury to get Petrify to proc with it to get 50% multiplicative crit damage. I went with Ursine Strength. I've seen that I'm seeing like 20 to 30 mils with this. I've only seen 30 to 40 mil when Petrify activates, and it doesn't activate all the time. So I would rather just go with the sure thing of guaranteed getting the buffs than going with on a maybe where you go with 5 tormented boss. You go with 2 tormented boss runs not have it proc, and then the third one it procs. Like every third boss, it'll proc because you also have it procking on your way to boss. So you're not always gonna have it boss fight. You're not always gonna have petrify going off. That'll change next season though. But Earth Sign Strength, you can mess around Bestial Rampage. For your Paragon. Now, your first board are gonna grab these. You need as much life as possible. You're gonna put Spirit here. You're gonna go up to Constricting Tendrils. You are gonna grab this. In the written guide, I fixed it. I don't have my Renown fully done. But when your Renown is fully done, grab Restricting Tendrils, and you will be able to grab Ancestral Guidance. I can't grab this. My Renown is not done. I don't want to do it. I don't have the patience to do it. All of you that have done it, I commend you. I respect you. I will look up to you. I wish I could. But the Constricting Tendrils board, we're going to put Outmatch here for the extra damage to non-elite bosses. Now, we're going to go to the left, the right, onto Ancestral Guidance. You're going to put Earth and Sky here. You're going to go down. You're going to go into Earth Devastation. This board that I was talking about when I said that damage to crowd control temper. You are going to put Electrocution here, because even now I know what you're thinking. But the lightning is guaranteed to strike the boss at least 3 times. Okay? That is 15 seconds total of a free 20% damage multiplier. Don't look, I know you're looking at me that way. Don't do it. Don't. Listen, when you see the gameplay of the pit, you'll understand. It's okay. It's okay. Trust me. Now you're going to go back to the Constricting Tendrils board. You're going to go up to Inner Beast. You will not be grabbing this. You don't need to. It is resource cost reduction. You don't need it. You don't need it. This is where Tracker is going to be. Now, obviously, you will be able to see the full effects of Tracker in the gameplay, and also you'll be able to see it in the written guide. The glyph is max. You'll be able to see everything. But yeah, so now you'll go to the right. This is where you put Tectonic. This is for the extra lucky hit chance for Constricting Tendrils, and it's also extra crit damage to mitigate how much you're losing when you're putting damage to crowd control on your staff. Now, in the written guide, you do make it all the way here. You actually have 2 points to spare. And actually, in the written guide, when I was making it, I didn't have these 2 dex notes. Without, still have enough. I didn't have that. I didn't have any of these. I went down, and I had 2 points to spare. I was able to put these 2 in. Or this one in. I didn't have these. But anyway, so yeah, this build is... Why is that? Oh, there. This build is very fun. It is very, very satisfying. And I enjoy pushing all of them away. Pushing them away. But, yeah, so, thank you guys for watching. Like, sub, and honestly, if you guys have any changes to make this do even more damage, please let me know. If you can find an item, I don't think there is one, but if you find an item that allows you to get the same amount of damage reduction, not damage reduction, cooldown reduction as Shaco, you can then create a nuke boulder and put Crown of Lucian on it. Crown of Lucian, Lucian, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Put that on it, and you nuke bosses. It is a nuke. It is. You don't see it on many builds, but the builds that it's on, insane. You will turn your boulders nukes, and it will be changed from the Vroom Druid to the Balls of Steel Druid. Okay? I encourage you to figure out how to get that to work. I can't. But thank you everyone for watching, and enjoy pit gameplay. See you guys. Alright, quickly before we get into the pit, I do just wanted to show that I did get this to at least level 15. So the poisoning effect, I will have this duration increase, and actually it's very nice. I'll it's for about 8 seconds. So you would every 7 seconds just hit on once with claw, and you're good to go. Now, here's to getting a decent pit run. No poison. No one-shot mechanics. No nothing. Where is this dude? There he is. But instead I get slow rift. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that overpower was 120 million. You always want to make sure you throw a boulder in time to keep your max proc from your Ring of Starless guys. I'm surprised I was able to kill that the suppressor. They're usually a pain in the butt. Damage resistant enemies are a pain in my butt. We're not getting me to walk into that poison bubble, buddy. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. If you weren't in a lead, I wouldn't have walked back. Yeah. So I noticed that Constricting Tendrils actually did proc on the boss, which is pretty dope. That's the first time I've seen it do that, though. It doesn't happen all the time. For me, anyway. But, yeah, so that was the build. It's very fun. You can easily go through a tier 100. I did it in under... Before I even hit the 12 and a half... I did it in about 2.5 minutes, I think. So it's very fun. I pit 100 in under 3 minutes. Very nice. Very nice build. Alright guys, I'll see you later.